Hey, how you doing? This is Neil from PerfectSunLED.com, and I got a quick grow update for you guys. I'm gonna be going through several days here. I actually managed to get some video of the grow as it was going, but hadn't been able to upload it all yet, so I want to put it all into one like compilation. So the first thing is that the CBD strain that only had 7 hours of light a day for all of its life up until the point it started flowering, even part of its flowering life. Um, and so therefore it was never able to produce roots because basically it didn't have enough light to really focus on root development. And so once it started flowering, which it does genetically, it had to try to produce flower and more roots at the same time once it finally started getting more light, and it never was able to. In fact, here in this video I'll show you right now, it actually toppled over and it wasn't even that big or heavy. That is, it didn't have enough root system even to sustain itself at this size. But as you can see here, it looks really nice. Nice and frosty, nice colors. I'm really actually surprised that it finished. Look how big this top bud got too. Like you see, I can't even fit my whole hand around it. Watch. See that how it just falls over? It's like being held up by the wall over here because it literally can't hold itself up. That's how weak the root system was. I'm going to play this part here real quick, just so you can see how frosty she is. So a lot of good CBD and THC on this baby. She looks really nice. So she finished at 78 days. I probably could have cut her down at day 75 even, but I let her go to day 78 and then we finally cut her down. And as you can see, going back here where I have it in my hand, look at that. I can't get my fingers all around it. See that? They can't even touch. So it's big. It's much bigger than a banana. It's quite a big nug there. All right, so the other thing I want to show you was the succession of the grow. So let's go back here to the 11th. This is May 11th. And May 11th, I wrote down notes here if I remember. May 11th, this was day 13. So here she was at day 13. My camera, this was also on May 11th what this plant looked like. You can see it was a lot smaller. You can see some of these hairs weren't quite done too, so I wanted to really wait till it was done. And that would get me more CBDs out of it anyways. You can see the pepper plant here not doing so well because of the heat. It is doing much better now. I'll show you that in one of the later video updates here. But yeah, so that was it. And then on the 15th, and this would be day 17. Look how much it grew just in those 2 days. See that? See how much more bushier it is just in 2 days? And then here you can see the plant again. All right. And then we have day 18. That is May 18th. And so May 18th would be day 20. Look how much bigger it is just in 2 days. See how it already, look how it's sprung up in height. This video I was actually talking a lot. Here's the lettuce. It actually has a nice little ball forming inside there. And it has about 30 more days to go before the lettuce is finished. You can see that it's really not liking the low humidity and high heat. And then we'll go to day 20. So this is 2 days later. This will be day 22 for how old it is. Now look at that, how much change it again has had in just 2 days. From the 20th to the 20, or from the 18th to the 20th. So from day 20 to day 22 of how old the plant is from seed. This is CBD Compassion Lime and Autoflower by Dutch Passion. And here you can see the pepper plant. You can see this is heat stress. It was like, I don't know, getting to like 90 something degrees in there, so I had to start keeping the door open. I really need to either get another inline fan for the window, or I just need to hook up my my AC in there. All right, finally, looks like the last video I took, which was I took yesterday on the 22nd. So we're progressing 2 more days again. Look how much it's changed in just 2 days. So this would be day, this is now she's 24 days old. You can see she hasn't started to pre-flower yet, which is a good sign. So it means she should still, veg and get bigger than this before she starts flowering. And then once she starts to pre-flower, then she'll stretch hopefully to twice the size. That's typically what happens with marijuana, and sometimes even 3 times the size that it was. So if let's say it was a foot tall when it starts to pre-flower, it should get to 2 feet, maybe even 3 feet tall. If it was 2 feet tall, it should get to 4 feet, even up to maybe 6 feet tall. But typically it'll double in height. But this one here isn't a really big plant in general, like even based on Dutch Passion's claims about it. And when you see and also when Dutch Passion, when they personally grow a lot of their strains, they don't get super big either. Even their big strains that I get really big, they don't even get them that big. So this might not be a super big yielding plant, but it's got the ratio of CBDs and stuff I want. Hopefully I can find another one. I'm gonna start looking at their seed banks and see what I can find. But I'm just amazed at how much it changed in just 2 days. That's what I love about autoflowers. Like they're really cool to watch grow. They just change so fast. And she's healthy. Everything's going good. So she's almost a foot tall now. So hopefully she'll her final size will be about 2.5 feet or so is what I'm hoping. That's about a good size for an autoflower. And here you can see. Oh, I didn't really show it. I thought I showed it at some point. I guess not. You can kind of see the leaves are looking a little bit better. Something like this one's more flattened out now. So she's starting to get better because I have kept the temperature from going so high in there. Unfortunately, the humidity is still low. It's just the humidity hasn't been very good outside as well. So I don't have a humidifier really that would produce enough humidity for the room. But there is a homemade method I could use, and that is basically just take a bucket, and then you take like a sheet or a big towel or something, and you need something to hang it on top of above the bucket. So, hook in the ceiling or something. In this case, if you're in a tent, it's really easy to have the poles above you. But basically, you hang it above the bucket to where part of the bottom of the sheet or blanket or whatever you want to use is inside the bucket, and then most of the sheet is hanging up suspended above the bucket. Then you have a fan in front of it. So the fan blows the moisture off of the towel and then or the sheet, and then it continues to wick up from the bucket, the 5-gallon bucket. It'll wick up water to stay moist. So it's constantly putting moisture in the air. It's actually a really cheap way to humidify a tent. I don't know if it'll humidify a bedroom so well. I know it'll definitely do a tent pretty easily, but I could always try it and see. But I don't know, the humidity is not too low. It's been like 43 to like 53, so it's not too bad. I think it should be fine. And once these plants start getting bigger, the humidity should naturally raise up in there anyway. All right, cool. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, so I looked at the plant today, and even just in one day, it already has grown more. So she's healthy and growing good. She's in a number 5 pot, so she has a potential to get as big as she possibly can for the most part. But it's just not a very big strain in general, so don't expect a lot if you try this strain. But we haven't even smoked it yet, so you have to wait to see what she thinks of it. Keep in mind, it isn't a super potent plant because it's a 1-to-1. There's 2 different phenos they have of it. One of them is a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning that the same amount of THC and CBD is in the plant. I think it's like 12% for both. The other pheno is a 2-to-1 ratio, which means it has twice as much THC as it does CBD. And I think that one they said is something like 17% to like 6% or whatever it was CBD. So, but the important thing here is that if you get like paranoid or weird feeling off of THC, the CBD counteracts that negative feeling. If you get anxiety from smoking marijuana, the CBD will counteract that. So if you get like a 1-to-1 ratio, you should be able to get high without feeling the negative effects. And if you still do with a 1-to-1 ratio CBD strain, then you can also smoke like Harlequin or something like that, which is almost 0% THC. It's like point, something percent. Sometimes it has like 1%, maybe even 3%. But it's mostly all CBDs. You can also buy just a pure CBD extracted oil with no THC in it whatsoever, and that won't get you high at all. but you'll get the benefits of the CBD. You'll get the body relaxation and stuff like that. Some might actually feel like they're getting high to some degree because you are kind of getting a body high from it, but you're not going to get that paranoid weird out high that THC gives you. But anyway, I definitely try that before giving up on marijuana. Try the 1-to-1 ratios, or just go buy uh, a not so powerful THC strain and buy a pure CBD oil and smoke the CBD oil first, and then just take like one little puff of the THC and see if it still has that negative effect on you. All right, cool. So that's it for this video. Double peace, guys. Until next time. Oh yeah, I've been asking her to take a video. She keeps forgetting a video of the other plants that I showed you before. With this one, they're the same age as this one. The other plants that are in the grow tent right now. So I have to have her take a quick video, or maybe I can get out there hopefully and take one soon if she's. I mean, she should be able to for me soon. She keeps forgetting, and I keep forgetting to ask her to do it when the light's on. So yeah. Anyway, hopefully we'll get that for you guys soon, so you guys can see all those other plants. The Jack, the Juan Herrera, and all that kind of stuff. Also, remember that blue dream I had growing a while back? That was indoors. I actually ended up throwing it outdoors just to see what would happen, and she didn't like it too much at first because it was really cold still, and the weather's starting to warm up, so it's not so cold at night, and so she's starting to, look a lot better and recover and stuff. The reason why I had to throw her out is, believe it or not, of all the bad luck that could happen, we got spider mites in there somehow, which is why I waited so long before I started growing in there again, because spider mites are just a pain in the butt to deal with. And I didn't want to have to try to, go through a flowering plant. If I were to, she would have been flowering right now because she would have still been in the house. So I would have put her under 1212, but I just didn't want to deal with that. It's just a pain in the butt to deal with spider mites and get rid of them when a plant's that big. So I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna throw her outside in the cold because that will kill the spider mites, and then we'll keep spraying it with bug spray, and we can get like 3-in-1 organicide, and that'll be good. And then hopefully that will get rid of it. And it did. The spider mites haven't returned. Everything is doing, she's doing good out there. But I'll have to take a video of that for you guys to see just how she's doing. She's still in the same size pot. I didn't put her in the ground or anything like that. And we're just giving her organic food now. That's usually what I do outdoors. I just top with organic powdered nutrients and just feed hose water. And that way I usually put a little bit of garden lime in the plant as well, or just every now and again make sure that you pH the water to where it's gonna and flood out the thing, so that's gonna keep the pH more under control. But typically with organics, it kind of takes control, or it takes care of itself, and you can just put a little bit of organic lime so it doesn't get too not acidic, the opposite of that, so it doesn't go overboard. Usually what happens is, the soil will turn more acidic over time, but sometimes it'll go alkaline, but usually it turns more acidic over time because there's always going to be a slight buildup of nutrients inside the soil. And so over time, the soil just becomes more and more acidic, and that's what the garden lime is there to prevent. The garden lime helps keep it like around 7.0, but it's always going to be trying to like drop because of the nutrients, and so the garden lime just basically keeps that in check so it doesn't get too acidic. That's pretty much it. So, all right, cool. Keep up to date, and I'll show you guys what's going on here soon. All right, thanks.